brings you back. Launch control active. Everything's gone all over the place. I don't miss any of the GTI buzz and all of that. The Mark 8R is different. Okay, Lapis blue Golf R. There's lots of demolition going on in the background, so excuse that. Forgot to show this in the last video, so this is the fancy key. I probably didn't mention it in the review, but I haven't got the one with the little R logo on it, so I think those normally come in the glove box. They're not in this one. Yeah, at least it's an improvement of the old one. I am using a GTI keyring though. Yeah, you can't hear nothing in here. It's like just a computer turning on. Here's your cold start. Right, so we're going to do the first drive on the Mark 8R today. Glad you folks enjoyed the intro video on it. We did like a thorough walk around. We put it up on the ramp at MRC Tuning. And we also got it dynoed. But the plan for today is we're going to keep things relatively simple. We're going to head out on some country roads, give you guys my first sort of driving impressions. I've done about 400 miles in this thing, and I've done a few video reviews on Mark 8Rs, but it's different when it's your own car. The main difference with this one and the other one is this is a non-performance pack, but it has got bits like the DCC. It also has the 18-inch wheels with some Bridgestone Potenza S001s, just some average tyre I'm assuming, 225 40 18s all around, so traditional kind of golf setup you could say. All right, back in. Now before we head out and start burning some fuel and comparing it to a Mark 7 and performance pack this and Continental Turbo that, just want to give a massive shout out to today's video sponsor, Carly. Now you long-time viewers of the channel will recognize this as a Carly device. It plugs directly into your OBD port and connects to an app on your phone and allows you to do a multitude of things. All right, so where's the OBD port on a Mark 8? Looks like it's here, and I believe it goes on, yep, so it goes on that way. They've flipped it around. I've already gone ahead and selected Golf Mark 8. It still is so new that there isn't even a picture loaded up, but you basically connect to it. Looks like it's figured it all out. I turned the car off, so it's just the ignition. Let's begin with a quick diagnostics run because I haven't actually done it on this car yet. A few minutes later, it's all done. It said it scanned 34 ECUs and found 14 fault codes. Hopefully that's not all bad. Lots of communication faults, all just seem like something that would happen when you'd have a dead battery. Okay, so nothing really to worry about there. They look like the sort that'll probably go away and not return once they're cleared. It's just cool to say I've scanned the Mark 8 now. I've never done that before. Now, as mentioned, diagnostics is not the only thing you can do with this app. You can also code it. There's a various few different things. It needs to scan your car and check for coding possibilities, stuff like that. We did use it to enable the DRL on my old Mark 7 GTI. So I'm going to play around with this and see what it can do on a Mark 8. The app also allows you to do various OBD functions like read live engine data, keep a track of your maintenance schedule. There's also a used car check which analyzes a bunch of vehicle data and also detects if the mileage has been tampered with. Now thankfully none of the cars I've bought over the last few years have ever flagged up on that check, which is good, even though I have bought some pretty sketchy ones at the lower end of the market. But either way, big shout out to Carly again for supporting the channel and sponsoring today's video. I've got my own special link in the description and save 15% off your next order when you use my code. But yeah, check it out, let me know what you think. Let's take this thing for a drive. Right, okay folks, so we are in the Golf R. Strange enough, I've never actually owned one of these cars before. Mark 7, Mark 6. I suppose I had the R32, but it doesn't really count, does it? I've driven my fair share of Mark 7s, and obviously we did do a couple of videos on the Mark 8. One when it first came out, and then we compared it to the 8Y not too long ago. So I'm pretty familiar with these things, and I mean, look at the sound that comes out of this. This is a standard exhaust. They don't have a resonator as we saw in the introduction video when we put it up on the ramp. And it does these like, well, put it this way, a 7.5R with an OPF is practically silent, and this just isn't. Okay, so point of view time, of course we can't forget this angle, makes all the difference, and especially when you got a cabin like this. I know a lot of people ain't a fan, but I just love the way it's so futuristic in here. I feel like I'm in a new car, which is what I think I've said a couple of times anyway. But I thought I'd show you a few things that are a bit of a strange thing, and also just generally if you want to know a bit more about a Mark 8. Now if you take my phone here, usually I have it on a vent and it's just normally up here mounted. It doesn't go anywhere. Now I've taken the vent mount out of the other cars. This was in the 335i, and I've put it on this vent here, but they're quite fragile, so the only way to get it to sort of stay in one place is to put it on the end there, and it sits on here. When it's placed anywhere else along this, the phone ends up facing downwards. It's like this hasn't got enough strength, which is not great, but I think that works pretty decent, so I might leave it like that. Now as we know, people have made a big deal about the ESC mode being hidden, so normally it's in vehicle and Yeah, you wait for it to load, then you swipe over to the right, then it's in brakes, and then you can select ESC, activate, sport and off. So we'll put in sport, yeah? It's quite a few button presses, and when you're driving it's not ideal, but it doesn't have to be that way. All you have to do is swipe down. Now you've got these quick menus, so it's like your phone, swipe down, you've got start, stop. Now if you hold on these, I've been told, you can, yep, there we go, so you can see ESC system, so you can slide that up and place it there. So there it is. So say I'm driving along, swipe down, bang, activated, swipe, bang, there we are, it's in sport. Now with that black car also having the performance pack, it meant it had a few extra little trinkets. For example, the Estoril wheels, which are 19-inch, it has a delimited top speed, it has a nice wing on the back, which I need to do something about. I don't like the way this looks at the back, it's too soft. But crucially, it also has the 2 drive modes, the Nürburgring mode and the drift mode. Now both cars do have the torque vectoring rear diff, so I'm hoping I may be able to code it in at a later date. That would be ideal, because I did like the Nürburgring mode. One of the main changes though in the Nürburgring mode is it actually lets you hit into the rev limiter, which this doesn't. Wow, that pins you back. I started to adjust my head, Matt, then. I could feel like the sort of elastic on the back of my head. See there, it's upshifting on its own. I'm not doing anything there. But as you can see here, race mode, this is the harshest setting. I never demonstrated this in the performance pack Golf R review. But if I did, I probably would have been pleasantly surprised, because this is not throwing me all over the place. Big pothole there, want to avoid that. See, does its little... Yeah, you can have fun at country road speeds. I'd love to get this on track. I need to take this on the ring, actually. Still every bit as quick as I remember. Now, as we saw, this thing dynoed at 340 PS. So it's definitely got a fair bit of power for a 2-litre engine in totally stock, warranted form. And the main takeaway I've had from this whenever I've gotten one is that it just feels so much more alive than the Mark 7. Into second. Yeah. It's on rails. Absolutely love this thing. I don't miss any of the GTI buzz and all of that. The Mark 8R is different. I love the sound as well. I know there's a bit of fakery going on, but it's a nice fakery. It's just silky smooth. It's like, yeah, no problem. I could do this road, no problem. That's all it is. You know, you slow down, you do a little downshift, and it's got a bit of a mini pre-facelift RS3 kind of bangs going on. That's through an OPF as well, so imagine if you didn't have them. Well done, Volkswagen, although you probably don't care what I think anyway, but well done. This road's getting a bit dry. I must be getting a bit too excited. Look at that. Impressive, impressive. There's no one coming behind us, we'll launch it in a second. Doug launched this car in the last video. I haven't launched my own car yet. Also, I'm just fed up of having to do clutches in every car, man. Launch control active. Everything's gone all over the place. Foot on the brake. Oh, I love that sound. I keep saying the same words, don't I? I apologise. Warp speed. It's a sort of, yeah, I can take way more power kind of warp speed. Now, I know long-time viewers are probably thinking, hold on, what's happened here, Hamza? Normally you're a GTI guy. Why have you got an R? I was very close to actually getting a Mark 8 Club Sport instead of this, because I thought it's my sort of thing. But I also did say when I drove the Club Sport and also the Mark 8, I'm pretty sure I did mention in those reviews that the improvements they've made to this car in terms of driving fun have made it just not worth me considering the Club Sport anymore. This feels like a Club Sport R from factory already. Wow. For a standard car, this is amazing. I really need to put this alongside a car within a Krapovich, because this stock exhaust is strangely loud on the bangs. because that's what really you're going to hear. I mean, talking about engine note, you're not going to hear much. It's mostly just whistling and whooshing going up from front, and then you get the occasional bang. There's not much else to it. So the tone is of course different on the Akrapovic because it's a titanium exhaust. But would I say you're gonna feel the kind of regret if you spec it or not spec it? Obviously I bought this used, so for me it doesn't matter anyway. I change exhausts on whatever I get regardless. But if you're one of the people who had the option and you didn't, I wouldn't feel too bad about it. The only thing I would feel bad about is those exhaust tips on the standard exhaust. They do look a bit, well, fake. They got this thick ridge on them, and yeah, I don't know. I'd rather it would have been just a thinner exhaust tip, if that makes sense. Yeah, this is bringing back all the memories of when I had to go in that black car, which is good. I'm glad it doesn't feel compromised. But I would recommend, if you are buying new, to get the performance pack. I still would recommend it because beside those spoiler, the wheels, it's good value. But I don't know if it's still available actually. See, it's just air. I was looking, the configurator is always changing, so they've brought out that 20 years version, so maybe that's taken its place temporarily. I have no idea, to be honest. I just needed a Mark 8R that was reasonably priced, had the correct options, the correct paints, and to get it quick. I didn't want to wait around. Brakes are decent. They are going to need pads soon, but they're on back order. So undramatic. There's mud on the road, there's bits of dampness, it will not spin. Neutral. Brilliant. I do love the temperature gauges on this. They're very clear. You've got the gearbox temp, oil temp and coolant temp, and a nice little gauge on the left. It's all configurable. I've got the center tachometer on. It's showing that the oil temp is at 106 degrees C right now, which is interesting. It's probably a bit higher than I would have thought. We have been giving the car some, but it's not crazy. It's within spec. I don't know what oil is in the car. It's a long life one, whatever VW use or whatever they call it. There's long life, some. I'll double check. Either way, I am going to be doing an oil change soon before we get to whatever we do, just for peace of mind. And I like doing an oil change when I get a car. It's not due one, it's already had one officially, but yeah, definitely pleased with this. I'm glad I wear 4R this time, and in lapis blue. I always wanted one many years ago when I had my S3 even. I was like, lapis blue R would be nice, but yeah, we're here, and I think it's the correct R to get. If I was going to get one, it'd be this. But yeah folks, what I'll do, I'll end the video here. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for a lot more content to come. I need to go put some fuel in this thing, and yeah, look out for the first mods video in a few days time. Yeah, I'll leave it to it.